We have a live now with the President of the Republic of Croatia, Kolinda Grabar-Kitarovic, and is a speaker at this year's Atlantic Council Summit in Istanbul. She has just met with her Turkish counterpart on Thursday, President Erdogan. Welcome to the programme. What have you been speaking to President Erdogan about? I know you've just had a meeting with him a few moments ago.
Good afternoon. We had excellent talks with President Erdogan. We talked about our bilateral relationship, but also our joint responsibility for the security and stability in Southeast Europe, particularly in our neighboring country of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and of course a joint responsibility to fight terrorism, extremism, and to ensure for the conditions of peace and stability, not just in the Mediterranean and Middle East region, but globally as well.
Now, President Erdogan has vocally said that the attacks in Paris are spurring hatred against Muslims and refugees in Europe, and is urging leaders to call for common sense in their countries. How does Croatia feel about that statement?
Well, first of all, we have to say that Islam is a religion that promotes peace and tolerance, and any killings of human beings are against Islam. Croatia has a very good and excellent Islamic community that is very well integrated in the society. Islam has been an official religion in Croatia now for about 100 years. And our own community has done greatly in order to promote inter-ethnic and inter-religious relations, not just in Croatia, but in our whole region and in a much wider Euro-Asian space. We look at these statements as a true warning that we have to be very mindful to avoid any xenophobia, any nationalism, any feelings that would be against migrants, that would be against any refugees who are fleeing the areas and who are the victims of terrorist and extremist policies themselves. So we do have to keep in mind that the migrant flows are a humanitarian issue, also a national security issue, but we need to find a holistic solution, a holistic approach in order to not deal just with the effects of the crisis, but with the root causes, in which is certainly poverty, extremism, illiteracy, war, unrest, etc. That is our obligation as members of the international community, as the European Union, and that is our obligation in working together with Turkey and with the entire of the transatlantic community.
President Kitarovic, you speak about a holistic approach, but the EU has been split on how to deal with the ongoing refugee crisis. How do you feel about Slovenia's statement saying it's going to turn back the so-called economic migrants to Croatia? Are you prepared for the numbers that may well arrive on your doorstep?
I have been speaking about this problem in terms of having this holistic approach for quite a while now. I think that we lost precious time over the summer just discussing the quota of the refugees who are already on the European soil, whereas we should have been looking precisely at the root causes and how to deal with the problem before it comes to the European doorstep. Now, neither Slovenia nor Croatia are the countries of destination for most of these people. I was out in the field myself. I took time to go to one of the refugee camps in Croatia, and I talked to the people, and most of them are looking for a better life. And I do acknowledge the right of every single person on this planet to have a better life. But the European Union just cannot take in all the poor in the world. What we can do is to work together to alleviate the consequences or the conditions in the countries where the people are coming from. The European Union, or in particular European Union countries, have to state very clearly whom they will be accepting and whom they will not be accepting. In Croatia, we are struggling with the economic situation ourselves. We have almost 17% of unemployed. Young people are leaving Croatia because there are no economic opportunities. So we want to be human. We want to help and assist all of these people. But we can only take a small number of refugees, and we can only only take in the numbers of people who can go from Croatia to their final destinations, to the countries who will accept them. For that, I think we need to be working strongly with Turkey on the action plan on how to make the proper condition, create the proper conditions for refugees from Syria, Iraq, and other countries in the region who are suffering from war and extremism, to create conditions that are really worthy of human security. We need to be very clear on who has the right to come to Europe, because the worst thing is for people to travel all those thousands of kilometers to reach the European countries and then to be turned back. They will be dissatisfied, disgruntled, and we cannot just really put aside the human misery that we're seeing. We need to address it, but address it in very clear terms that we can and cannot do, and agree on what measures we have to be taking, because we cannot solve this problem by isolating ourselves from it. We cannot solve this problem by canceling the Schengen system or the freedom of movement in Europe. We need to uphold our values, uphold democracy, but we also have to be firm in addressing the root causes of this problem.
Briefly, if you would, President Kitarovic, well, you talked about small numbers. Do you have an amount of the number of refugees you'd be able to take in, and what will happen to those who don't make the cut?
Croatia has committed to take about 1,662, I believe, or so, refugees. What happens to those who will not be registered as refugees? Most likely they will have to go back to their countries, and therefore I must reaffirm again that this has to be dealt with before all these people make all that way in order just to be turned back.
Okay. Kolinda Grabar-Kitarovic, thank you very much for your time.